Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, where we talk sports with you 7 nights a week at 412-575-2600. That is the number of the Bordas and Bordas hotline. You can also hit us up on Twitter at KDPomp, at Chris Mueller, PGH, as we greet you tonight from here in our studio, but also at 93.7 The Fan, where on most nights this show will be simulcast. Chris, Steelers season is over. Finished with a strong 7-2 record. However, they needed a kick or a block kick or a penalty that was called that shouldn't have been called. Miami ends up winning that game. They needed 6 things to happen in the last 2 weeks. They got 5 of the 6, but that's what happens when you dig a big hole. Your thoughts about how they finished and what they are looking forward to do in this offseason?
I mean, I think how they finished is largely a byproduct of who they played and what those teams were at quarterback. You got Tyler Huntley twice. You got a clearly diminished Deshaun Watson. I thought he would be better than he was. He clearly is extremely rusty, and who knows if he ever gets back to his true pre-suspension form. They got Andy Dalton. He's not very good. They got Sam Darnold, same thing, Marcus Mariota. So I think you can see the trend developing here. Derek Carr is probably the best guy they beat, and he got immediately benched and his Raiders career was over after they were able to shut him down. So maybe not as enthused as some other people are about 7-2. I give them credit for not throwing in the towel. Miles Jack alluded to that in his time in Jacksonville, it wasn't the same, that if they would get down in a given season, guys would kind of tune it out. So the Steelers and Mike Tomlin deserve credit for that, but I don't really think that they've beaten anybody very good this year, at least other than Cincinnati in week 1. So I need a lot more proving done next year, Bob.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that, but at the same time, they have the youngest offense, at least when you look at the ages of these guys. And I'm encouraged from that point of view because I thought Kenny Pickett now moves into next year with an opportunity to build upon what he started here with this group around him. And, I think that's encouraging for sure. Mike Tomlin was asked about whether or not he, second-guessed his own decision on how he handled the quarterbacks, and he pretty much said no, although he did say, I'll take time to reflect upon all aspects of it. I mean, bottom line is he progressed. I think people get carried away with stats. We live in a fantasy world where people want stats all the time. But I looked inside those third down numbers, and I came up with a very good percentage of completions on 3rd and 8 or longer for him over the last 4 weeks. That's impressive because those are those so-called weighty downs that Mike Tomlin always talks about.
Well, I think they're in general, their third down conversions being better, their offense looking better is a byproduct of their running game being better. Mike Tomlin says he'll use a 2-back system. He's not against it. He just needs to have 2 backs. Well, he has one, I guess, now in Jaylen Warren, and that made Najee Harris look better. Pickett absolutely made strides. He did. I don't want to discount stats, though, just because his weren't very good, because you can have really good stats as a rookie. Baker Mayfield had really good numbers. Justin Herbert had really good numbers. It is not illegal to have really good stats, but Kenny Pickett was clearly in an offense, Bob, where the head coach primarily did not want him or anybody else to screw it up. And so the numbers were always going to be somewhat impeded by that. I was encouraged that he started to make higher degree of difficulty throws further down the field in the last month of the season, I would say, that he showed that he wasn't cowed by the moment when they needed him to make last-second drives to bail them out in 2 straight games. There were definitely some encouraging signs, but they need to make a serious leap forward with him in year 2, and I think he and they know that.
We'll talk about the coaching situation and also some of the things they may do in the draft. Consider the Steelers have 4 of the top 80, 2 of the top 32. Thank you very much, Chicago Bears. We'll talk about all that with Chris when we come back, and also take your phone calls at 412-575-2600. We're back with more of your opinions right here live on Pittsburgh CW.